the selfish shellfish. One day, a grumpy lobster moved into a kelp forest. "This is a good spot," he said. "I'm going to live under a rock all by myself." Except, Lobster wasn't really by himself. There were fish and sea stars, eels and seals, snails and sharks, octopuses and anemones, and sea otters. "Whee!" shouted the otters as they dove past the lobster looking for sea urchins, their favorite snack. "Hello!" they called as they twirled and swirled. The grumpy lobster found it very annoying. "I want to be by myself," he grumbled. "I don't want to live with fish and sea stars, eels and seals, snails and sharks, octopuses and anemones. But most of all, I do not want to share this kelp forest with sea otters. Everyone leave!" he shouted and snapped his claws. The lobster was so grumpy that he frightened everyone away. "Finally," huffed the lobster, "now maybe I can get some sleep." The only creatures that didn't leave were 3 little sea urchins. But they were quiet and also quite tasty, so the lobster let them stay. He crawled under his rock and took a long nap. While he slept, 3 sea urchins became 5. 5 sea urchins became 10. 10 became 20. 20 became 40, and so forth and so on. When the lobster finally woke up, he stretched and yawned. It is so much better here without all those other creatures." Pleased with himself, the selfish shellfish was ready to enjoy his own private kelp forest, and maybe a sea urchin snack or 2. But when he crawled out from under his rock, the lobster was shocked at what he saw. The kelp forest was gone. Not a single frond of seaweed danced in the currents or swayed in the dappled sunlight. What he did see were sea urchins. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sea urchins. "What happened to my beautiful kelp forest?" cried the lobster. A baby sea otter poked his head out from behind a rock. "Well," he said, "sea otters eat the sea urchins. They're our favorite treat. But when you made everyone leave, the sea urchins were free to multiply, and they ate up all the kelp." "Oh dear," said the lobster. "I had no idea this would happen. Can you help me fix it?" "No," said the baby sea otter, "but I can kelp you fix it." The baby sea otter pulled a tiny kelp plant from a small pocket under his armpit. With the lobster's help, he planted it in the sand. "Please tell everyone to come back," said the lobster. Soon the kelp forest grew again. The fish and sea stars, eels and seals, snails and sharks, octopuses and anemones, and the sea otters all returned. The grumpy lobster was no longer quite so grumpy. Sometimes he even laughed at the otter's antics. They all lived happily ever after together. And the lobster realized that they all truly needed each otter. The end.